All right, so in this video, I'm going to talk about how to make the configuration. So we're doing a cutaway section configuration here. So we're going to make a section view, but we're going to do it as a configuration. That way we can start to learn how to do these. As I mentioned in video 3, you need to make the holes at the top of the part here first. So I went ahead and sketched it out so I wouldn't have to waste time in the video showing you how to do that. But really quick, I set all 4 of the circles that are going to be holes here. I set them to equal. Then I made these 2 horizontally aligned as well as these 2 horizontally aligned. And then I made the 2 across from each other vertically aligned. And then I put in all the same dimensions here that they had on the book. And that'll give you the right positions. Make sure you're fully defined here. And then all you have to do is cut them out. So we'll do an extrude cut. That's to a blind depth of 1 inch. We'll do that. And then click the check mark. Okay, so we've got some holes in the top of the part there. Okay, so now we're going to go to the cutaway section view. So I'm going to change to the top view of the part here. It's going to allow us to cut a chunk out of this and make it go away. And then that's going to be our cutaway view. But we don't want to lose the original part either. We want this part to be one configuration all by itself, and then we want a second view of the same part, but with the cutaway. And so that's what configurations are. Configurations are going to allow us to have multiple views or modifications or modified examples of that part. And so it really all those configurations stem from the same original part, but they're different versions of it. So you'll see here at the end of the chapters, we'll have a longer version with the pockets more spread out and more bolt holes. And we'll have a short configuration that's only going to have 2 of the bolt holes, I believe, and 2 pockets. We'll have the cutaway view, and then we'll have the standard view. And then we'll have another configuration with no features on it, as if it were just the plain block that was sent to a machine shop, and the machine shop then had to put all the features in it. So this is going to be our first configuration, or as the SolidWorks calls it, the default configuration. So if we go here on our feature design tree, there's some tabs across the top. The one in the middle shows 2 blocks there. That's the configuration manager. So we'll select that. And you can see here, this is our, let me expand this. This is our machine block configurations here. And the only configuration right now is the default. The default being this one right here. What we've already made is our default. So I've got the check mark on the default, which means that when I create a new configuration, I'm going to add a second one to this list, it's going to start out looking just like the default. So whatever configuration I start with when I make a new one, that's what the new one will look like until I modify it. So I'm going to right click anywhere in this space, make sure I don't have anything selected here. I'm going to right click and click add configuration. Okay, that's going to pull up this window here, and it wants a name for our configuration. So if we look at, let's see here, it's going to be page 810. On page 810, this is where it'll show you where I'm at. So they want it called Cutaway View. So we'll give it that name, Cutaway View. It doesn't look like they want anything else entered here. You could put an optional comment if you wanted, or a description for this configuration, but I think Cutaway View for now pretty much sums it up. So we'll click the check mark, and you can see now on my configurations here, I have the Cutaway View configuration selected, not the default. So now this part here is the Cutaway View configuration. This is what we're going to modify to actually be the final Cutaway View configuration. So then I can switch back to my default, and it'll still look exactly like the original. So we'll switch back. I'm on the Cutaway View. I'm going to go back to the design tree, this button right here. Okay. And now I'll switch back to my top view. and I need to make the actual cutaway in the part to be a part of this configuration. So we need a rectangle up here. They draw it out about like so, and then we'll put in their dimensions. So select Smart Dimension. We've got 3.25 and 2.75. And we're 1.5 inches from the back side of the part. So we'll put that in here, 1.5. And they want us 1/4 inch from, oops. Not letting me select it there. There we go, select it up here. 1/4 inch away from the part. And that'll put our cutaway right in place. Notice they conveniently made it cut right down the center of the circle here and right down the center of the pocket here. And that'll be to more easily show the inside of those features. So what we want to do here is now we're going to cut this away like usual. So really I'm just trying to make a big cut right through the whole part here. We're going to change it to through all, and we'll click the check mark. And now we have a big cut in our block here. Let's, I'm going to turn off the view of that plane we made. So now you can see how deep the hole goes here. You can more easily see the inside of the pocket. You can see the center of this hole, that we used Hole Wizard to make. And anyway, that's a cutaway. So you can see that cutaway is just a feature on our design tree. Just like everything else, it's just another feature we added to the part. Now, if we go back to our design tree, remember this is our cutaway view. That cut that we made on the part just now was not a part of the default configuration because we weren't on the default when we made that. So if I double click on the default configuration here, you'll see that goes away. If I go back to my design tree, that feature is still on the design tree, but it's suppressed. So right here, I could unsuppress it if we wanted it to be a part of this configuration. But we don't, so I'm going to right click again and select on the cut here, and I'll suppress that. So that's not a part of the default, but if we go back to the cutaway view, there it is. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to rename the default to medium. So the way you do that, just let's see, select it. So I'm not selecting it right now. Select it, give it a second. Click it one more time, and now you can change the name just like you would on a folder or a file anywhere on your computer. Change that to medium. So default and medium are the same. On page 815, you'll see that there's different configurations we're going to be making, a short and a long. They have the medium listed on there, but the medium is the default configuration. So again, if you see default in the book, it's my medium. Just know that. So I'm on the medium. I switched back to the medium configuration now. We're not going to work with the cutaway view anymore. That's just an example. But we'll go back to the medium because the rest of the configurations we build we mainly want them to be based off of this. It's going to make building those other configurations simpler by starting with the features the way they are. Okay. So I'll pick up with the new configurations in the next video, and we'll go from there.